big sausage. My mom doesn't like that we curse.
My mom doesn't like it either. But actually, my mom hasn't commented that. I just know she wouldn't like it. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the next podcast. Everybody, this is our good friend, Reid Moncada.
Lifelong.
Yeah.
Lifelong.
I've known you since fucking elementary school.
Elementary school, when you were doing stand-up in the cafeteria, Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
You were doing Jeff Dunham skits?
No, he would just he would recite Jeff Dunham skits as his own, but that was like something that was so foreign to us as elementary schoolers.
I think I remember
good comedy, good live comedy.
In elementary school we had talent shows during lunchtime.
It wasn't even a talent show. You would just do stand up in between lunch.
Yeah,
David had talent shows during lunchtime. Everybody else had lunch.
I was an attention whore even back then. I might have just asked the lunch aides if I could do it, but I would memorize comedians' bits and then I would just do it. I did a Jeff Dunham one. I did a Dane Cook one.
You did Dane Cook in elementary school?
Listen, I was in fucking I don't like
it
these
wasn't
comedians.
it wasn't so spicy, but it was just spicy enough for elementary school.
Very nice.
You know how it is. But I've known Reid. I've known you since elementary school. You've known Reid since middle school. I don't want to make you do too much of an elevator pitch or anything like that. But I'm gonna make you do an elevator pitch.
So what's your 5-year plan?
My 5-year plan, not die. Not die. Maybe 2025. I don't know. I like working on things that make my balls tingle, right? So
That's
I
cool.
wake up and I work on projects that I think are really cool, that have when I stay up late night and watching YouTube videos of things that I'm really into. That's the stuff that I get to work on.
Cool.
And so it's working on really cool things that are new with people that I really like working with. I have the opportunity now to just focus on that, and I have the pleasure of making that my job, and money and business comes from that. But I would say my favorite things are crypto, NFTs, fashion, apps, golf, music. We've been cooking up together.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, a little bit of everything. Traveling.
Yeah. So I'll give people my elevator pitch for you now. Reid, you did. It's now just fitted, right?
Yeah.
Formerly Shoot, now fitted. Fashion company, and the In-Between. Is it the In-Betweeners Club or is it just
In-Betweeners?
In-Betweeners. Which I'm actually I do kind of want to talk about that, mostly because I personally am number one interested, but also confused. So In-Betweeners is an NFT company. Explain it to me like I'm the fucking moron that I am.
Yeah, so it's a piece of art or ownership of something, a digital thing that signifies that you're a part of a community and unlocks access to things. So the way I would really dumb it down is so imagine you buy a Rolex, and then you are then put into a group chat with everyone else in the world that has a Rolex of a different style or a different year or a different make, right? They're all valued at different things. And in this group chat, everyone's talking about how much it's worth and how much they think it's going to be worth. And then 4 times a year, the Rolex throws a party for you, and you go and get to meet and network with everyone else that has a Rolex.
Sick.
And at any time, you can sell your Rolex, sometimes for a profit because it's a limited thing and it appreciates in price. And so that's basically what an NFT is. And so at first I was this is stupid. Why are people buying JPEGs for tens of thousands of dollars? But then when I started to think about oh, this is why I was buying and selling Jordans, or this is why people resell tickets, or why people like Supreme. It's nothing that's anything that's new. It's just the underlying platform and the medium of what it is. It's no longer a fucking $1,000 pair of shoes. It's a $10,000 JPEG.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what as an owner of an In-Betweeners NFT, what would I get access to if I just so happen to own one of these bare JPEGs?
So at the core of it, you are so you own the IP. So if you have a bear, right, like you own the underlying IP of it. So you can just do like whatever the fuck you want with it. You can slap it on like condoms or beer. Like we have holders that like made a drink company.
Is it condoms?
Yeah, like you can make it.
I'll put mine on condoms.
Yeah.
I'll put mine on condoms.
Or like alcohol or whatever. But then two, it's like it's your ticket into parties. So like last year we had a party at Coachella that was co-hosted by Kendall, and Kylie was there, and Bieber pulled up, and we had a private Travis Scott concert. And if you had the NFT, you got a chance to go. Last year we also had
How many are there?
10,777. And last year we had a party with Dolce & Gabbana. They spent close to $500,000 on a party, and Trey Songz performed, and it was like open bar and free food, and there's hot people there. And
Gotta
so
love hot people.
and like a whole bunch of new stuff. So like we're rolling out something where our holders will get access to like 35 airport lounges around like the world, and so like similar
sick.
to like an Amex, like you'll get access to a whole bunch of new things.
And now you're drinking canned wine with us in our piece of shit living room.
It's not a piece of shit living room. It's a nice living room.
This is a nice living room. This is a nice living room. You have a backyard. You have a backyard. There's a pool.
Yeah, we got a fucking pool.
It doesn't
No
look too
pergolas,
clean,
but you know.
In the last episode, I like took my phone and I videotaped our backyard, and I didn't realize it until after I posted the video. You can see the fucking hole in our couch right there.
What happened?
We
it's just a
sat
piece
in it
of
a
shit.
lot. We bought it on Facebook Marketplace. With all the money we made selling our in-betweeners.
Right.
So this is, like I said, feel free to stop me if you don't feel like talking about any of this. I would like to tell a story that about you and I, since I came here to Los Angeles. You organized this, I guess it was like a dinner or whatever, and you invited me to this place, Soho House or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, come and hang out with like me and my friends or whatever. So I go. I showed up to the fanciest place I've fucking ever been, it feels like. And I felt like such an imposter. Like, I felt so out of place. And then, like, when we sat, I mean, everyone was super nice. Everyone was super, super nice who was there. But, when I sat down, everyone was kind of going around and giving, like, what they do for a living. I mean, the two guys were like, from Harvard with the
the pen nerds.
And then the guy's like, I work at YouTube Music, and the guy's like, I manage this, that, and the other thing, and I'm like, I host a podcast with my friend Karl.
That wasn't even a thing yet. You're lying.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
lying.
I didn't actually
you
say that.
teach music.
No. I was like, I'm a music teacher, but I don't want to be. And I've never felt that before, where I was like, I felt like I shouldn't be somewhere. I've never felt an imposter. And I will say that you were very, very sweet in that everyone went around and said, I'm the shit, and I work at this huge company. And then I was like, I'm a music teacher. And you hopped in really quick. You're like, oh, David's a diamond in the rough. Yeah. And that made me very happy because I felt so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because you've obviously seen wild success. Yeah. Like, to what most people can only imagine, right? At such a young age, too. Have you ever felt like, where am I right now? Do you ever get like an imposter syndrome or anything like that?
Oh, like all the time. But like, I kind of like was like fueled off that, where I had that chip on my shoulder of like being in rooms where I'm like, I'm like the youngest person in here. Like, I have like no reason being in this room, or like being in like having a call, and I'm like, I can't believe like he's taking his time and like talking to me. And then I just did that so much when I was like young, where it's like I kind of like got over it. And then also learning that like no one has any fucking idea what the hell is going on. Like, everyone puts on this like face and everything, where like on the inside we're all just fucking struggling to show. Like, so like for that example, like I remember it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and like we were talking about your music and you were sending it to me, and I was like, this is like fire, and like I love this, and like I know that we get that was like well before kind of any of this in-betweeners shit popped. I knew going up in high school and going to your garage parties, and like that was like, that felt so cool. That felt so raw. I remember like seeing Suave, who's now on tour with like JAD right now, right? I was at like, it was in your like driveway where I'm just trapping, and I'm like the only dude out of like 20 people trapping, and now he's like on tour right now. And that started in your like driveway.
Yeah.
And so like that does play a lot to like my kind of story and like character arc of that. And then even like that night, it was like, I don't know, like just to show that like, because I like quote unquote like done something relative like of something out here, right? And like being able to pull up the homies of like, listen, it's not that fucking bad up here. It's like not that it's everyone's trying to just like figure it out. It's not that hard or that scary, but like when you like are like there or like at the Soho House and it's like, oh, it's just like kind of stuffy and you get eventually jaded by it.
Shit was so fancy, bro. I showed up.
It smells so good in there,
dude. I'm looking around. I didn't know. I was like, all right, I'm going to like a social club with like Reid. Whatever. I'll throw on a fucking flannel, and then I showed up in these jeans and a flannel, and I'm looking at people in suits, and I was like, oops.
There's no dress code there.
Yeah, well, I definitely didn't fucking dress up.
Fuck.
Yeah. I met a guy who was actually he was a bartender at the one in Malibu. Man, that guy made some good fucking drinks.
Yeah, they got
holy shit.
They got some tasty drinks out there.
Yeah, but that's cool. Yeah, so are you actually living in? Because you're all over the place, traveling all the time. But do you actually live here?
I pay rent in LA to tell people I live in LA.
That's
so
sick.
like I'm like
Me too.
traveling like 50%. So here's the thing. So I moved out here 2020 after my lease was up in Philly, and like I didn't know anyone in LA except for my sister. So I just staying at her place, and then my homie from Penn State who grew up in LA was like, yo, we found an apartment. There's an extra bedroom. We need an extra person, $850 a month. I see the Hollywood sign for my apartment. I'm fucking 15 minutes from West Hollywood, 15 minutes from downtown LA. And this was like height of COVID. Signed it, lived there, and we're rent protected. And so, yeah, it goes up 3%. It goes up 3% every year, right? And so I was going to get another place in LA, but then like the crypto market went down, and then rental prices went up. And then I just started traveling a lot. And so, yeah, so like I have this like spot that I pay like minimal amount in, and that allows me like to have like the freedom to travel around. And then I always have like a home base, but I feel like I have friends in like every city. So I usually just go and couch surf. Like, so I was just in New York, and like, yeah, I spent like 1 or 2 nights in a hotel, but then I spent like most of the nights like crashing on my friend's couch. Yeah. 'Cause that's like the more fun human way of traveling, of like I get to see someone, and like when I'm there for like 3 days, it's not so long where they get tired of me, but just long enough where like, oh, they want a little bit more.
Yeah, I will say one of the coolest things, not to continue to suck your cock, but like one of the things that I think someone was asking who you were, and maybe Colin or somebody or something like that. We'll talk about Colin and his embarrassing thing that he's doing right now in a minute. But the way I described you is obviously you have success, but you, I guess you're the first person I know personally to have this level of success and to see how normal you are, I guess, is really... I don't know what the word is here. Not reassuring, but we'll use that word. It's just nice to see you. Like the way you hit me up when we moved out here, it felt like, we were just like in high school and we just knew each other or whatever. Have you seen, now obviously you're in like that a little bit different world. Do you see a lot of people like make that change? Or is it similar to where you were talking about before where you're like, yeah, everyone's just kind of trying to figure out, does everyone have that? And it's just a thing that us losers have.
I mean, there's been a few people that
name drop.
There's been a few people that have that I've known that like I was really close with, and then they blew up really fast. But like, it's not like they have malice or like try to talk down to me or talk shit to me or act like I'm like little brother. But I get that they're so busy, and it's like. I am not. They don't have as much free time, or they, have bigger fish to fry, which I like understand, and I don't have any hold any malice to that. Yeah. I don't know. To speak on me, I grew up with not. I was first half of my childhood was upper middle class, and then when I was 14, my dad lost his job, and then I spent almost all of my high school career homeless and sleeping on friends' couches and in hotels, and I had to work 3 jobs to like to put food on the table, and like I was really lucky that I ended up getting a full ride, and that's when like my startup thing happened, because I always had that like chip on my shoulder.
Did you drop out?
I did drop out like my senior year.
Full ride and then get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
like
That's
senior
what we're
year.
talking about.
But like I don't know, I spent like your entire life chasing this bag, right? And then you get it, and then like I spent like all of last year just like traveling, getting nice things, and then like now it's just like, all right, what am I into? What truly like makes me happy? Because like like I could have like nicer things, but also it's like I don't need much, because I was like, when I was broke, it's like I was happy sleeping out of like living out of a suitcase and going around. I was still like happy. So
Kind of takes like that freedom though to really discover what you value.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Like,
right. And it's a huge privilege to do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you just working on In-Betweeners still right now? Do you have other projects going on? Like, I know that you're doing stuff with Fitted, and like, are they intertwining at all? And what are you traveling all over the place for? And
Yeah.
Those are all my questions. Answer
so
them.
I'm still working on Fitted. So like Fitted originally started as like a way for me to like, it was a laundry service. I go to your house, I pick up your laundry, your dry cleaning, take it to a laundromat, bring it back. We brought this to like 18 cities without owning like a single washing machine or van. It was all like software, and then we were burning like so much money, and like we were generating money, but we were also like burning a lot of cash. But when I started it, like it originally started as a way for me to just do laundry for people, and then I went out to this program in like San Francisco that was run by this billionaire, and it made me drink the Kool-Aid of like tech and startups and venture capital. So like when I first started Fitted, it was like a way for me to do laundry for like Penn Staters. Like now it's like a way for me to like, I'm building tech to catalog everyone's closets and then understand exactly what they're wearing and how often they're wearing it. And so I'm still working on that technology. And hopefully it'll be in the hands of like everyday consumers. That's an uphill battle, but it's like very fun. But it's very fun for me to do it, because it's like I get to show up and like I watch them cook, right? Like I just like talk with my engineers and I make designs on Figma. I like, what am I traveling for? Like I'm helping name drop. I'm helping Saquon Barkley, like the professional.
I mean, I've seen
NFL
you play golf.
player.
And
I'm helping him launch his like golf channel, or like a golf channel.
Nice.
What else?
Did you meet him at school originally, or did you just like, he went to Penn State, right?
He did go
The
to
same
Penn
time
State,
that
but like
you
I
were at
was
Penn
like,
State,
everyone
right?
was like, he was like the celebrity at Penn State, and like everyone dick rides like Saquon. And then last year when we launched In-Betweeners, his like friend / business manager came in through our Discord. We became friends. We started chopping it up, and then I was in New York one day. I brought my clubs, and I was like, I saw that they played golf, and I was like, you want to play? And he's like, yeah. They invited me out, and then as I'm driving out,
Did you win?
Yeah, I've won like last week. I won like $800. Like $800. I didn't even know we were playing for money too. And this guy shows up and gives me like $800, bro. It was the craziest thing.
That's hilarious.
Hell yeah! There you go.
So now, obviously, I mean, after this, we'll probably go in the studio and fuck around with that song we were working on. But what made you be like, all right, I want to start rapping or singing or whatever on some stuff? What made you make the jump to let's make some fucking music?
I think it's like a whole bunch of things. Like I think there's like growing up, like I love music. The same way like I love fashion. It's like an expression of like, it's a way you can say something without say something at all. And same thing with music. It's a way that you can identify like what your tastes and preferences. Like you can develop like a fingerprint for a person. And like Spotify has these things you can make like blends, and you can see like how compatible someone's like music tastes are.
Yeah, like me and Karl, we're the stereotypical assholes who like Mac DeMarco and Tame Impala only.
Yeah, exactly.
And rain sounds.
And dude, my fucking Spotify DJ plays rain sounds all the fucking
no, it's
time.
fire. You know, sometimes you get like fart sounds. Sometimes you get ASMR. Like
I guess I played it while I slept, so now it's like, oh man, this guy loves the sound of rain. He listened to 72 hours of it last week. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
But and then like at this like startup school I went to called like Draper, like 3 or 4 years ago, they had, out of all the shit they had, there was like someone that like had like a freestyle class. And so like we sat around and this dude like helped us like freestyle and said like, oh, you do this is how you do it. And I got like really interested in it because one, it's like I always felt like I had bars, just like walking around. I always had like bars in my head, and then two, it's a way for me to like. I do public speaking all the time, and I forget what I'm talking about all the time. And so being able to freestyle was like, oh, I can keep talking and be good at it, and like keep going. And then it started with me like freestyling with my friends, and then moving out to LA, and then every other person you meet out here is like works in music. And one of my best friends, Max Bennett Kelly, I watched him go from 30,000 monthly active streams to 300,000 with this one song that went viral, and he just got like a distribution deal.
Super fucking nice guy too when he came over. Really, really sweet.
Yeah.
Marcel too.
Yeah, I mean they're so talented and so multifaceted, and then now it's like I can go from like, all right, let's freestyle, to like, all right, making an actual track and then learning about it along the way.
Does Max make all his, does he produce all his own stuff too?
Yeah, he does work with he does kind of produce, engineer, everything. He does work with some producers as well. And then kind of like the label side, it's like I'm really interested in like the business side of it. There's a lot of implications on blockchain and Web3 and AI in it. And then it's an angle for me to become my own industry plant. And
Hell yeah.
It's like if I have my own label, like, why not
Industry
fucking put me on, bro?
plants.
Like, come on. Right? Like, why do I gotta work so hard? And like obviously like everything that like with like Virgil Abloh and like Zach Bia of like what they're doing, like is like how they see life and work as like being just like fully creative. And this is
Who
like
the fuck is that? I'm sorry. Who is that?
Virgil Abloh. Or
I know that name. I'm
he's the designer behind like Off-White. He was like the
Louis
men's
Vuitton.
creative fashion designer at Louis Vuitton. He's like, I don't know, when you see like, I don't know, like Off-White, it's like, this is him.
I've heard of all those things, but I don't know what they are.
Yeah, he's just like a really inspirational person. Like he was very collaborative. Like he was originally like an architect, and then like got into like fashion, and then was like doing design. He was just like, a black dude doing designs with like Nike and then Louis Vuitton and everything. He like really transcended like fashion and design.
He died like last year, right?
Yeah, and like he just didn't tell anybody about it. Yeah, he just like started like he had cancer, just didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
Swag.
What a way to go
Yeah,
out.
what a way to go.
People were speculating before Kanye kind of went off the rails that he was gonna step up as Louis Vuitton's creative director.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, they thought Kanye was gonna
Yeah,
step?
after
Now they got
Virgil
Pharrell.
died. Oh, it's
Pharrell
Pharrell.
Williams?
Yeah, now it's
Sick.
Pharrell.
Hell yeah!
All right.
That's what's up.
No, I approve, guys. Good job. Good choice. I know you guys were waiting for me to sign off on that. Sorry, I didn't get your email. Shit.
So what's like how this podcast, like who's the next guest? Yeah, who you got
I don't
on?
know, bro. We're still.
Actually,
He knows.
How do you get Hasbulla?
I don't know.
That'd be sick.
Hasbulla?
We're
Hasbulla?
making Hasbulla sit in the chair that's really short, bro.
Yeah,
He's gonna
for
be
sure.
tiny on here.
What's next for the podcast? I mean, we just fucking do it, man. It's fun. We have a good time.
Ripping and dipping.
It's like, it's work for sure. But the one thing that Karl and I have discussed about the podcast is I want to refuse, like anyone's knocking on our door, but I want to refuse anybody who wants to come on the podcast that's not like our friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like no like you're only getting sponsored by Fitted, but if like I don't know like
yeah.
I don't know if H&M comes through the door, you're like no. That's where we draw the line.
Sponsorships will take.
I'll do a
We're just
sponsorship.
not. We just don't want to. We already are pretty unintentional with our conversations. What he's saying is we want to be intentional with at least like who we bring on and what we talk about to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
It is already pretty chaotic, but we don't want to just have anybody on. Just
would you
because
have
they want to
Kanye
come
on? Would you give him your
Yes.
platform?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
All 107 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
What about the CEO of racism? Would you have him on?
No.
No.
I'm going to go with no on that one.
No.
But
No.
I think, like the first guest we had on was Sugar Pit. Kian, I lived with him.
Wait,
He's our
Sugar
friend.
Pit. He's an artist.
Yeah.
He makes that one song.
Do you know him?
I think there's a song. It's like alternative, like pop type. I don't know.
It's like pop. This one's like rock. It's like
How does this one song go?
There's two songs that
I'm
probably pop
working
up.
at my job.
Yeah, that's right. I'm
Working at my job.
And
I
there's-
am the supply. I am the demand.
He's popping the fuck off on TikTok and Instagram
Yeah,
and
Sugar,
Spotify.
Sugar Pit.
Sugar
Yeah.
Pit. He was on the podcast first.
I was looking for my phone and then. It's
But like
not.
he's our friend. We had AJ Wisniewski on.
Yeah.
Friend. We were gonna have on Mega Mango, the band, but they were too busy with tour. And we're not friends with everybody in Mega Mango, but we are good friends with.
What do you
Sam
What do you
Pole.
see this becoming? Is it like a Lex Friedman style, or is it like a
Andrew Huberman, Karl and I are gonna
Yeah.
start talking about science.
Lex Friedman. What's his show about? What does he
Yeah,
do?
it's like kind of like it's like a Joe Rogan, but it's not his base. But like he has like really interesting people on. Like he has like Mr. Beast, or he has this like
Gotcha.
the CEO of IBM, or like this dude who lived in the jungle for like 20 years.
That would be really cool. I think David and I both kind of just view it as like a supplemental thing to music. Although it's definitely been the only thing that I'm doing right now, but not David
Yeah, it's
at all.
kind of like
David's like mid fucking release cycle. So, it's supposed to just be like just another form of presence. You know what I mean? To supplement us doing the whole music thing.
Yeah, because there's
We
like
good?
some podcasters that like they podcast and then they do like an OnlyFans shoot, and then there's kind of like
Karl's OnlyFans is dropping next week.
Then there's
actually.
like the cave where they chop it up, make a beat, and then
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So we could
That's a
do
good
like a
one.
mix of all three. Where
we have an idea
Podcast
for
Bang.
something that's similar to the cave. It's called Producer Juice. It's gonna. I don't know if we'll do it, but hey, we gotta stop, or else our fucking thing's gonna think.
Oh shit. All right. Well,
Reid, do you have anything to plug
Fuck.
to
Buy-
all our 107 subscribers?
Buy Bear.
Buy Bear. How
Buy
much does
Bear
it
and
cost? How much
OpenSea.
does it cost?
It's like I think 0.07 ETH right now, which is like
What does that mean?
$150, 200 bones.
That's actually not bad.
But it goes up, it goes down. It might go all the way up. I don't know.
Maybe I'll buy one.
I don't make the markets.
Fuck, I got
I just make
$150.
$150.
an NFT?
I thought
I
you
just
were
ma-
gonna
I
say it
just
was like
make bears.
$10,000. So fuck.
Anyway, Reid, thank you. Let's go into the fucking studio and make some
Let's
make
cook.
some
Let's
tunes.
make-
All
let's
right,
make
bye
let's make
everybody.
a classic.
Thanks for the wine as well. Yeah.
Of course.
Fine, sparkling canned wine,
Aged.
aged.
Aged.